guys? Welcome along to Season 2 of the Rocket League Ireland Six Man's League. No longer, of course, Rocket Mondays. That name has been discontinued, hence why we're talking here on a Thursday at this moment in time. It is just the Rocket League Ireland Six Man's Podcast, now named as such, and this is why it is on the Rocket League Ireland channel. Joining me today, we're going to talk about Division 1 as our first one. We're going to talk with LTXSam. Sam, how are you keeping?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Oh, fantastic, Sam. Thank you very much for asking. So, Sam, we're going to get straight into it and just quickly go through the table, okay? So I'm going to point out, or I'm going to call out the table as such, guys. As you can see, we'll go from bottom to top. Unfortunately, I am bottom of the table on a -4 with 4 losses so far. Lawler on 2 and Jay Dupre on 1. Ineffable has yet to play a game at this moment in time. Jo is on 0 points with a win and 2 losses. Pengu on 1 point. Dahi on 2, yourself Sam on 2, Timsy on 2, Jakey on 3, Ovel on 3, Ghost on 5, Cans on 10, and Panda on 14. The top 3, of course, are in the promotion spots going into next season. Sam, let's kick things off. How do you think the season's gone for yourself? And yeah, tell us about your experience of it so far.
I mean, it's been a fairly shaky season, I guess you could say, but that's to be expected because I'm kind of in the deep end now. Like, this isn't what I'd be used to, but it's a good experience to be able to play with high level players and maybe learn a thing or two and pick some stuff along the way.
Okay. And is there anyone in particular you've seen that's like kind of really stood out so far this season?
Kansas doing very well. Panda, that's expected. I've been very impressed by Ghost's comms. I know that's a very odd thing to call out, but I think that could help him a lot in the 6 months environment.
And maybe at LAN as well in the future if his comms are as good. And you're not the only person to mention that to me. We've heard a lot of things about him, and obviously I think his stats reflect how brilliant he's been in the 6 man so far this season.
Yeah.
Looking to go straight back, bounce straight back to the Premier Division, of course. Has there anyone that's been disappointing? If you say me, you'll be disconnected from the call. I'm joking. Is there anyone that has kind of been like, okay, maybe not doing what you expected?
I mean, I haven't been underwhelmed by anyone really. I feel like most people are doing as expected or better than. I mean,
Oof.
nobody comes to mind. Like other than yourself, but as I said, I don't want to be disconnected from the call, so
Go on anyway. Is there anyone that's kind of been like, okay, I'm glad I didn't get that guy on my team, or okay, he's a bit dodgy, or
I mean, I feel like I am that guy, so I can't really speak on anyone else because I'm kind of the guy who, I mean, you don't want on your team.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Sam, let's get straight into it. All right. Obviously you can see the win percentages there. Panda's top of that at the moment. Ghost is in second, Kansas in third, and that's pretty much your top 3. Timsy and Jakey have both played 3 series, something like that. Jakey's played 4, Timsy's played 2. Just so you know, Sam, and just so everyone else listening to the podcast knows, I've only included players who played 2 series or more. So if you only play 1 series, aka Ovel, aka Jay Dupre, and obviously, of course, Ineffable, you're not on the stats. There's no point looking at your stats. They're just not representative in any way, shape, or form. So I sorted it already by points per game here, Sam, and as you can see, the top 3 are Ghost, Lawler, and Panda. And the bottom 3 are Pengu, Cans, and Jo. Would you say that's a fair reflection of these guys? Points, as we know, don't always reflect it, but do you think that you're kind of looking at the top 3 mechanically skilled players, or what's your thought here?
I mean, yeah, I think you're onto something about the mechanically skilled players because obviously, I mean, Pengu maybe being an exception there, but see Ghost, Panda, Lawler, very offensive, fairly offensive players anyway, I would say, and mechanically gifted, all of them. Whereas you have Cans and Joe out at the bottom, who are maybe more tactical players, who rely less on their mechanics.
Okay. And would you say this is fairly reflective of, I don't know, like their positioning in the league? I mean, for instance, Kansas is second last, and yeah, he's second in the league.
Now, Cans has been doing very well on offense, but the only thing I would point out is I think he's been with Panda every series he's won. Or near enough
That's
to
a fact. Yeah. And the 1 series he lost was against Panda.
So we're putting Panda and Cans, like, all of their wins have been together, other than Panda grabbing
take.
one up
Oh,
without
and Cans
cans.
Cans was with Dahi on the first game of the season, and Ghost because they beat me, you, and Lawler. Yeah, you can see it there in the sheet
Yeah,
share. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, as we always say, Sam, anything above 350, you're hitting the money. 300, 350, you want to up it slightly, but that's not too bad. Anything below 300, you kind of want to start influencing and affecting the game more. Would you go along with that assessment?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sam, goals per game, and you're probably noticing right now, guys, I skipped the actual total ones themselves because they're not a good representation because everyone plays different games this season, so it's just not a realistic one. Sam, I'm going to sort it there now by the goals per game tab, and you can tell me what you think here. Lawler on 1.25. Now, he's only played two series. Okay, so maybe it's still not really representative. But Jakey up there again, very offensive player. Dahi as well, of course, only played two series. Panda, of course, played a lot, but you can tell that his stats are really reflective. What are we thinking?
I mean, I'm kind of taken aback about how far ahead Lala is ahead of everyone else. You
Hmm.
said he played two series.
He's only played two series, yeah. 6 games in total. Or 8 games in total, I think. Yeah.
He's doing very well. I noticed very low assists, so maybe that could be something.
Hmm.
Um, Jake, I'd expect to see up there. Dahi, I'd expect to see up there. Panda as well,
And yourself,
and
Sam, not
then
too bad, above the point seven, the money mark, anything
uh,
above the point seven. So you and Pengu just thereabouts, Can's just below it, of course. And then there's unfortunately the bottom two. We won't talk about that person there in column 11, lads. We'll talk about the guy in column 12 instead. How about that, Sam?
I love playing with Joe. What a man! But his mechanics do need to buck up a bit. I think he's caught out a lot on them.
Hmm.
I genuinely think if he could get a bit faster, a bit more consistent, he could be making his way to the top of this table.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, assist per game is up next now, guys. Obviously, I know this is gonna be a bit more tough for you to see because we don't have screenshots for it. And to be honest, that was just a bit too much effort, lads, just so everyone knows. But Sam, we're going to look at assists per game. That's column N right now. We're going to sort that. And again, it's Ghost at the top of this. And he's had a phenomenal season, let's be fair. I mean, his goals were on the lower side, but at the lower side, he was still 0.64. Assists for Ghost, 0.82. He's played 3 series. He's really creating a lot in the offense. And this is where I think maybe he's a bit too good for this division. What do you think?
I mean, that's saying enough for 1.5 goal involvement a game.
Hmm.
That's miles above almost anyone else in the league, other than maybe some players like Lala.
Yeah.
Um, no, I'd say he's doing very well for himself, and not just for himself, but very well just as a whole.
Hmm. And the other side of things, of course, Gio's making up for his lack of goals, maybe with the second highest assist rate. Not exactly ideal, but at least he's in the above the point 0.5 mark. He's doing enough on the assist side of the game.
The
Jake.
only thing I'd say, I don't know if that's from passes, because if you see his shooting percent at 16.67,
Hmm.
so it could very well just be misses that he's having and then teammates cleaning up.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
whatever gets the goals in, I suppose.
Hmm. And goal participation, of course, next Sam is the very next one up, and we'll talk about the shooting accuracy as well when we get later on to the shots per game and shooting accuracy, and you can lambast me and criticize me for my shooting accuracy. Goal participation per game. Oh, and the spreadsheet's gone awfully wrong there. Hold on 1 second. What's going on with this spreadsheet at all? So goal participation per game there now. So that's column O. Let's try this again one more time. There we go. So Lawler is actually top, and Ghost is up there, and so is Jakey. All right, and Panda is doing very well as well. I would say ideally you want to be above 1.3, and that's pretty much Panda above, so Panda, Jakey, etc. Unfortunately, Sam, I don't create anything on offense clearly, and I can't defend either, so I'm just doing nothing this season. This is reflective of my stats. I'm 0.7, Jo 1.84, Timsy 1.87. At least Timsy's doing something in terms of the creativity of the game. Actually, no, sorry, he's scoring goals, but he isn't creating the same goals he had last season. Pengu just above the 1 mark, and you want to be ideally above 1.1 to be doing much, and that's pretty much yourself and Dahi. Is this again a fair reflection of the table? Because you see, for instance, Lawler's right up there, but this could be just because of those 2 series he played.
I think to an extent it is, but I don't think stats do give it the full picture, because it doesn't reflect the player who doesn't move up the field because they notice a teammate doing it.
Hmm.
And I think, oh, I'd say, yeah, I'd say the top three are doing very well, and I think that's why they're doing quite well on the table as well.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Lawler, who's gotten a bit unlucky.
Absolutely. Okay. Unfortunately, Sam, the next one is goals conceded per game, and unfortunately, this happens to be the only thing I'll probably be top of today. And a big fat 2.5 goals conceded per game. So clearly, my defense needs a bit of work. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Ghost Panda, yourself, and Jo all doing a decent job. Anything less than 2 goals per game, and you're probably going to be winning more series than you're losing. Anything above 2, and you're probably going to be losing more than you're winning, and that's pretty reflective because Lawler again is top of this stat, or sorry, second in this stat, and that's probably reflective of it. Anything to add here on this one, or should we just move on to the saves one because the saves one is next?
Maybe just move on to the saves because I feel like they're fairly
Self-explanatory. Yeah.
yeah.
I can't defend. We get that. We get that, guys, and we're not going to talk too much about that. Saves per game though, Ghost is up there with Jo and myself. I'm actually top of something. Wow, that's great. With Jakey and Timsy, and anything above 1.5 to 2 is a decent mark. You're doing enough on the defense without doing too much, making it look like you're too much of a defensive player. Based off of this, so Penguin can solo down, and Dahi and Panda as well below the 1.2, 1.1. It's okay, I guess, but they're kind of thereabouts. What are your thoughts on this? Some players not doing enough on defense, other players doing maybe too much. What do you think?
I'd say Pengu and Cans and maybe Dahi aren't doing enough, but I'd almost let Panda off with it due to he's has a very high goal participation and he's doing a lot on offense. So I think we can kind of let him off there to an extent.
But on the other side,
Pengu and Cans and maybe Dahi need to be doing a bit more, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Let's look at shots per game then. We'll do shooting as well. So what we'll do is, what do you want to start it by? Do you want to go by shooting accuracy or shots per game? We'll give you the floor.
Shots per game. Start with that.
All right, cool. So let's do shots per game, and we'll do that. Okay. So Dahi's putting up the most amount of shots here, Sam, and he's putting up a pretty big amount, 3.43, with Panda on 3.2. So obviously these guys are the offensive players in their division. Been impressed by them, but I guess the reflection of that is their shooting accuracy is quite low, whereas on the other side, Lawler's is massively high and mine's very, very low. So what do you think?
There's more to be said for taking shots and scoring goals, so it keeps the attack on, and I think that's what Panda, Dahi, Lawler, players like that are doing so well. I'd also say, and no offense to you, players like Jake are doing very well. I'd almost exclude you from that because, I mean, 14% is somewhat diabolical. But
it's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. The goal it's like golf. The goal is to lower your score. Yeah, not to make it harder.
Most of that comes from your first series, though, when it way 15 shots and 1 goal.
Not even. I don't think I scored. I don't think I scored in that series. I think I had 15
don't
shots.
Remember too
I
well.
had like 9 shots, 1 game, and no goal. But yeah, that didn't exactly help. So.
I'd be curious to see if you took that out, what your stats would look like.
Yeah. Anything else to say about the guys? So we always say, Sam, 2.5 and above, you're doing okay. 3 above, you're doing very, very well. You're obviously creating a lot of shots, but is your shooting accuracy reflective of that? Anything above 20% is fine, so you let Dahi and Panda off of that. Lawler's obviously doing a very good job. On the other side, anything below 2.5, you want to be looking for a little bit more, that's fine. Anything about below 2, maybe this is one of the only things you can criticize yourself about. Maybe not putting up enough shots, but when you're scoring them.
I think, and I might be being overly critical, but I think I need to improve a lot to keep up in this div because while the stats might say that I'm doing a lot, I find I only win games when I have teammates who have the ability to walk around me. So, and that's why I love playing with Ghost because he just calms everything and I just know what to do.
Yeah, perfect. Anything to be said about Jo here? Because although I put up a load of shots per game and my shooting accuracy is reflective, Jo puts up almost half as many shots as me and his accuracy is still really low. What are we thinking?
He gets a lot of saves per game, which isn't bad. So that's a plus side to it, but he does need to be doing a bit more on offense, I suppose. Yeah.
When he's surrounded by 2 offensive players, though, you can get away with that, can't you? So if he keeps
you can. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Sam, these are the kind of stats that we've looked at today. Any final thoughts on the division? We've obviously talked about who's kind of impressed you, who hasn't. Is there anyone that you'd like to make a comment about in a negative or a positive light, etc.? What are you thinking?
I'd like. He's only played one series, Jade to Prey.
Yeah.
But I look forward to seeing how he does because I think he could do quite well. I think he could take a lot of people by surprise.
Hmm.
And I'd say the same for, I think, Pengu. Even though he's not exactly the best trees player, I think he could definitely be going back up, assuming he plays his games.
Yeah, he played a really good last series, by the way.
Yeah.
I think had it not been Pengu and Panda on that team, and it had been anyone else, even a Ghost maybe a Ghost, but anyone else instead of those three, I think that would have been a different scoreline for us and my team. But yeah, I take that point. Any other comments then about the rest of it? And finally, who do you think is going to go up and who's going to go down, respectively?
Oh, I'd expect Panda, Cans. I reckon it's between Drake, Ghost, Cans, and Panda at the minute.
Okay,
But
so four. You're excluding Tim Ziano of Elphimet.
now, what I'd say about them is it's very hard to say because they played 3 series between them. I
Hmm.
mean, one of them played two and one of them played one. So depending on how well they do, and I'd say the same about Dahida as well. If he plays unbelievable, well then,
It could
I
be a
mean,
different ball game.
it's a possibility. It's so hard to say with some people playing no games. I mean, if Ineffable plays all his games, I'd expect him to go up, but I don't expect him to play all of his games. So, I mean,
Yeah, and who do you think is going to go down then?
oh, I'd expect. I think you'll stay up, but by the skin of your teeth. But I think you might be able to turn it around. I'd say, and not necessarily in this order, but myself.
I think you're being a bit too harsh to yourself considering you're 6 points ahead of me at this stage.
I mean, I've played 5 games and I'm not even on 3. So if
Hmm.
it all depends on how many people play how many games.
Yeah. Not exactly one of
So
the easier divs to get games going than anyone that's worse is Premier, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. It's very interesting how the higher up divs, who all the people who sweat out Rocket League and play it all the time, don't play.
Yeah.
But moving on, maybe Lala and Jo. I mean,
Ooh.
that might be a bit
No J to
harsh.
pray.
I don't know. I think J to Frey might be adaptable enough to get by.
He's never gotten GC though, and like, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he got swept, didn't he not in that series? I think he did. He's not in the stats here because he's only played the one series, but I'm pretty sure they got swept.
J to Frey would definitely be in the fight to stay up. I don't think he'll be getting near the top 6 or 5, but I think he'll stay up.
Okay.
I mean, it's so hard to say who's going up and who's staying down because this is first season with a system like this with the uh, points rather than average points. So it depends so much on how many people play how many games.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect. Sam, that's it pretty much here on our side. Any final thoughts that you want to add, and is there any messages you want to send out?
Not really. Look forward to playing with Joe Allen. I know I bash him a bit here, but I love playing him because he just walks around like the nonsense that I pull out. So don't be too offended.
Unlucky Joe. All right, Sam. Thank you very much for joining the podcast today, guys. That's LTXSam here from Division One. I've been in wrong your host, so this is the Division One episode all done. We'll be up later on with the other episodes. Thanks very much for watching, and have a nice day.
Awesome. Cheers.